Hey, friends and enemies, this is it. We did it. We finished the Fiery Cross in 5 weeks. That's right. Not months, not 5 years. It turns out the gathering isn't interminable, but fighting about Roger is. Hi, I'm Beth. I'm the host of Hangoutlander, which is a weekly recap show for Starz' Outlander. We've been recapping and rehashing and chatting Outlander since before it was announced that it's coming to TV at our former home, That's Normal. And now we're doing it right here at the Cool Table. Tonight, we are finishing the Fiery Cross. The end of the book brings it all the way back around to the beginning, but there are mysteries galore for the future books, which I have not read. So, like, what happened to Ian's family? Why is he back for good? What's going to happen with Tom Christie? Why is, he knows too much. How can you just let a corpse just hang out and rot in a mausoleum like that and never get caught? There's much more. So tonight we're going to be discussing all that and more of my favorite bitches, maybe just one bitch, but maybe two. Julie might join us later. Amy, say hello.
Hey. I look like hot trash tonight, but I'm down with it.
I kind of do too. I'm wearing a very old hoodie. And my hair's doing something funky.
My freckles look like I have chicken pox.
They don't to me, but you're probably seeing a clearer version of your face than I am.
And my nose is super red. I look like Rudolph. But you know what? I don't care because...
Don't worry about it.
I'm 46, and this is what this looks like.
We got an unhappy comment this week on YouTube with our show, and we're not averse to those have happened before, but I was glad they didn't just like yell at us about wearing too much makeup or not enough. That's happened in the past. It's not fun.
Yeah, I appreciate her going in on our hot takes only and not the status of my roots, which are really terrible. Yeah. So thanks, Terry. I appreciate you keeping it on the up and up when you told us we were shitheels.
You know what? If Terry's watching, and she probably is, she came back. I responded to her, and she came back with a very measured response, and I appreciated it.
Oh, good.
It was a nice little conversation. You don't have no one by any stretch of the imagination. If you hate us or don't like us or whatever, that's perfectly fine. I don't expect everybody to like what we do. It is kind of frustrating to be in a space when you love something, to be in a space and listen to people critique it. Because it dampens your enjoyment of it. That's happened to me in lots of fandoms that I've been in, where I've, really been happy with, I don't know, The Last Jedi or something, and then you read somebody's words about somebody's like recap of it or whatever, and they hated it, and they just break it down and tell you how horrible it was, and you're like, oh yeah, I kind of see that, but it ruins your enjoyment. So I don't like that aspect of what we do, but at the same time, like, I can't not say what I gotta say. Gotta say what I gotta say.
Well, I wouldn't have read these books 3 times if I didn't love them. I feel like we're to the point of our relationship now, me and Outlander, where like I'm nitpicking my, 75-year-old husband kind of. I love him so much, and just let me, pick your nits and tell you about your nose hairs and tell you about let me tell you about your brother that I hate. His name is Roger,
Yes, it does feel like that. I feel like, especially towards the end of this book, which is just so Outlander to me, the last 2 sections of this book, you just feel like I have every right to go back and be like, why did you do this, you idiot? Like, because we've spent all of this time together. I know you really super well. And I have the right. I've earned it.
And I love so much about these last 2 sections that you said are very Outlander. It makes me annoyed that like I'm forced to hang out with people that I don't want to hang out with, because all I want is like Jamie.
I know. Let's say hi to Amy Rose. This is the first one she's made live this year. Hi, Amy. We're so glad you're here. And Faith is
Amy
here
spells hers Aimee.
She does. That's new. And Faith loves her nails.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you though, they look like hot garbage yesterday. I said they were like hot trash, hot garbage a lot tonight. I dyed my daughter's hair this weekend. She did one side black and one side pink, but I had to do a double process, and I didn't have any gloves, so I just went for it. So I had blue hands like all weekend, and but I was somehow able to salvage my manicure. But thank you, Faye.
Good job. I want to see her hair. Send me a photo of that.
It's do your girls, are they into Melanie Martinez? That's who this look is supposed to be like.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Now what you're talking about. So let's get into it. Let's get into Hangoutlander. I'm looking at the wrong document all of a sudden. Sorry about that. So this week's reading was parts 8 and 9. That's from chapters 89 all the way to the end. And this particular section is full of what I always, like I just said, it's like peak Outlander stuff. But it's never really the bits that I remember super well. Like so much happens in this book. And then a lot even happens in these 2 sections. How am I supposed to remember the boar and the buffalo, Stephen Bonnet and Lily White? Like it's a lot. So
there's a lot happening. It's very much the adventures of Jamie and Claire, because there's either ridge shit or there's something that's crazy happening. And like they can never relax for 2 seconds.
And if they do relax, it's in the moments that you don't see. Like it's all of a sudden it's 3 months later.
Yes.
Like the dates are just popping up being like, nothing's happened, but then this happens.
Right.
Which is, I guess is fine. We need to know that things like move on. This bit starts out with a piece that Julie put up on our Twitter, and a lot of people had lots to say about it. It's the chapter 89, the one in which Roger has a raging boner and doesn't get to deal with it. And I don't want to sit around bashing Roger. We did it on our Twitter account, but I like how this section and then through the snake bite and Jamie's coming back and Claire dealing with his snake bite, like he and Roger come to this like rounded out relationship. Like there's mutual respect and admiration and a little bit of a better father-in-law, son-in-law relationship between the 2 of them, just in the snake bite bit of stuff. But how that section starts with Roger like watching Jamie and Claire be married.
Yeah.
Is really interesting to me.
And smelling them after they boned in the...
That's disgusting.
It smells like onions and spunk in here.
It's like, I was going to say something that would totally embarrass a family member of mine.
I think it was in one of the maybe it was last week, someone said, Roger is very, very in his own head. He's very self-conscious. And I feel like these 2 sections really show that, because I think he thinks that Jamie knows everything more than Jamie really knows everything. Maybe Jamie is just kind of like, Jamie's a fantastic leader, but he never really set out to lead, which is why he's a good leader, not the head of a cult. I feel like what your intentions are, or if you don't have intentions, I feel like Jamie is just being himself.
Yes.
And Roger is sometimes confused and thinking that he has to be a certain way and act a certain way to be like Jamie. But does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, well, the old adage that the people who want power are the ones who should have it the least. Somebody's out there looking for it and begging for it and trying to get it. Those are the guys that really don't need to get it. And I think that that's true for Jamie. He's not out looking to be the leader. That wasn't the way that he expected his life to go, but he has the natural inclination to do so much of this well that's why people follow him. I mean, they even go into detail in Ardsmere how he just naturally became the one that people look to.
Right. And to Jamie, he was like, there was this problem and everyone was like being awful to each other. And someone saw something in Jamie and they were like, well, help me solve this problem. And then that's how he became the leader.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jamie even telling Roger, going through and picking out and saying, here's all of the things that you're going to have to deal with. Like, if I don't make it back, you've got to know he's got this going on and they've got this going on. And I mean, can you imagine like you are the CEO of a company, but you're the only one who can handle all the personalities of all the executive vice presidents. And you're having to like give that information to Logan Roy's Kendall Roy or whatever. And you're like, all right, here, Kendall, here's how it's going to happen. All right.
Well, let me put it in a rap song for you, Kendall, so you can.
Succession. Yes. If Jamie Roy was Logan Roy, how much more exciting would Succession be?
If Logan were like hot.
Yeah. And like super capable and like
because I'm like, Holly Hunter, like I get it, he has power, but like you don't want to touch that. I mean, no offense to Brian, whatever his name is. I'm sure he's a lovely person, but he's not.
He very much has the Harvey Weinstein vibe going on in Succession, and it makes me really, really annoyed.
Yes.
Sheila just said Roger gonna Roger. That is not untrue. That's very true. He Rogers all the way through the end of this novel. And Amy just said she's also annoyed at Roger at all times.
Faith is right. Roger is his own worst enemy. He cannot get out of his own way. That's right.
Yeah. There were a couple of times in this section, I want to give Roger, credit where Roger credit is due. There were times where he was showing shades of having either emulated Jamie really well or just kind of becoming into his own. One of them is a couple of times where he's taking care of Jimmy in just a very honest, open, real way that just hinted that he is, it's been 2 years, but at the very least, he's well suited to fatherhood now. Now that Jimmy is like not completely attached to Brianna at all times, he's well suited to being his father, where it was the boar coming after them and him protecting him at all costs, or, fumbling around for the chamber pot when he needed to be potty trained, and just the different ways in which he's capable of like being a good dad. Those stood out to me. And then the two other parts that I think stood out were Roger's kind of grown through the novel. And I think he did this by watching Jamie and Claire, but there's the moment where he, I guess, has confessed to Bree that he's read her dream journal. Mm-hmm. And he says something to her about, are you mad at me that I did it? And she's like, no, but you need to tell me one of your dreams now. And, don't make it like an easy one, but like, tell me something real. And he tells her that sometimes he dreams that he's singing. And she's like, what song? And he's like, I don't know, but I'm always singing to you, which felt very Jamie-esque in terms of like him being able to be sweet. And then telling Jamie that he is going to be the one to kill Bonnet. Like, yeah, he just was very matter of fact, like, this is mine. I'm doing it. And Jamie had to step back and be like, you're right. You're doing it.
And then okay. Jamie, I love, he's like, okay, well, so then when you fail, I will avenge you.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. Have fun trying, So all right. Cute. Julie is here. So we're going to add her to the stream. Say hello. Ooh, I do not like this. You there, Julie? Where are you? Maybe she's not. I'm going to remove her until I can tell that she's not frozen. It's a fun little setup I have here. I can just move things around. So let's talk snakebite.
Yeah. I love this whole section because this is so much of Jamie being Jamie and just his little witticisms without trying to be funny.
Yeah.
How just hilarious he is. And, like, oh, I know that I'm getting ready to die because you haven't, you've been so sweet and kind to me. And I just love their banter back and forth. And even when he's dying, he's just himself.
I agree. I do want to say that Marita just had a good comment about Roger. She said, then again, giving Roger credit for taking care of his own kid is setting a very low bar. That's very true.
It's not babysitting if it's your own kid.
I was trying to be nice about Roger, okay? I'm trying to just throw it out there that there are good things that the dude can do. Okay. Everybody say hello to Julie.
Hi, everybody. Sorry for coming a little bit late. Sorry.
We won't hold it against you. We won't hold it against you. We're talking about the snake bite. I love this section too, because I love how ordered Jamie is with his life. Like, he thinks he's going to die, so he gives Roger this laundry list of things that he's got to take care of. And then when he's not specifically like in danger, before he can like kind of dole more of that out, he talks to Claire. You know, he makes sure that he makes his peace with Claire. He makes sure that the windows are open so that he can hear his family. He decides.
I do love that. Don't close it. I like hearing everybody talk. Yeah.
Yes. He decides that he wants to have like one last hand job before he dies.
I thought I loved it that was that hand job was what brought him back to life. He was like, I'm almost ready to die. And then he's like, touch me, Claire. And she's like, okay. And he's like, nope, this is not in heaven.
I think it's because she like messed around with his taint a little bit. And he was like, yes, we got to have more of that.
She goes for the real asshole, right? Later on.
Later on, she does.
Yeah.
Later on,
that prostate.
Later on, Claire, they do a lot in this that I was like,
with the almond oil.
If you give lube or anything oily to Claire, she's going to find a way to get your dick involved.
That's
good. So good for her.
And that is
true. That is true. But I really appreciated that he had everything lined up. He even said, I decided to die. I was going to die. And it's like, you can't decide that. But then you realize it's Jamie Fraser. Yeah, he can. He can decide that. But it was Claire's gentle touch.
Waka waka.
That essentially reminded him that he had a life to live. But I love that fact that he was like, I didn't want to die yet because you all needed me. Not just you, but you all needed me. So I love
But he was correct that Claire would probably get herself murdered. So he needed to stick around to.
Exactly. Because he realized he's like, she's going to die if I'm not there. So.
Well, I actually think that the scene right after that, where everybody is kind of in the room while she's doing the syringe stuff, is one of the sweetest parts of the novel. Like, everybody just kind of like somebody's messing with his hair and somebody's dabbing him off, and like everybody's like giving him like everybody's just there to help take care of him in this really like soft, sweet way while she's doing this horrible thing to this.
And to see the contraption, which I love, like the building of
the syringe,
first hypodermic needle.
Exactly. But I love that it wasn't Claire. It was Brianna who came up. It was like, Brianna's like, oh, I'm an engineer. This is something I can do. I got this.
Well, everybody kind of pitches in. Like, Claire's more excited when the bugs bring her this like basket of mold than she was. Like,
exactly.
That he got her or whatever. She's like, just bring me a bouquet of mold next time, because she's like, like tearing up.
Exactly.
So happy.
And when it allows people to be good at what they're good at. So, hey, Beardsley's, go off and get me a bigger snake. Sure, no problem.
Right. It felt like in the background, somebody's like singing that song. What's that song from High School Musical? We're all in this together, and somebody's, that's what it felt like. We're all doing this. We're all contributing. We did this, guys. We made them live.
I ain't never seen High School Musical.
I haven't either. That is not my brand.
Nope, it's mine. And if you've seen High School Musical, you know what I'm talking about. And if you have, trust me, the dance moves too. Don't judge. Anyway, I work with kids. It's of course my brand.
Well, I love it. Sheila just says that he waits until everyone leaves before weeping. And then Jamie just hits you in the right spot sometimes. I mean, all the time. But
he took a deep breath and at last began to weep.
Oh, so good. So good.
Because he's so strong for everybody. But even the strong, you need to cry. So
I love how like it literally looks like he's going to die, and Claire's just, how in the world did he not? He didn't even lose some of his calf muscle. It's the 18th
there was no
century.
necrosis.
Yeah, he's just good.
He's fine.
It's unbelievable to me. I almost wish it. I mean, I realize that they needed like the stakes need to be big for it to matter that he lives. Otherwise, it's not as exciting. but I find it really hard to believe that he made it.
I don't, the science of some of the things from,
well,
Roger's vocal issue, like some of it, I'm like, I don't know the science on this, but I'm willing to accept it.
Yeah, I'll suspend my disbelief, I guess.
You have to suspend your disbelief because this is also a book where a woman travels through stones to go to a different time period.
But that's my only suspension.
I want the rest of it rooted in reality.
Has to be real.
Yeah, I want the rest of it really, really well rooted, and that doesn't seem like it is. But whatever.
Whatever.
So Roger lets in a new potential villain in Tom and Christy and his children. Now, I have been spoiled for future things that happen, but I have not actually read past the end of the Fiery Cross. So I don't really know what's happening with Tom Christie, but I love the ominous nature of Mr. Protestant Freemason coming in and not thinking he's going to get land, but also thinking he's going to get land because he's got dirt on Jamie.
Right.
It's a nice little setup.
I wonder if he even really came, that he knows this because of what one of the many multiple characters tells Roger.
Lindsay,
Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny
Rogers, Lindsay.
Kenny Rogers.
But I never really thought about that. If he really is kind of thinking, oh, I'll definitely get it because I have this over him. I think he probably just thinks that, because in the end you find out Tom Christie is a true and honorable person. And in the next book, or the 2 books, I forget like how far along we go with him. But I like that because knowing where his character eventually leads, I really like him eventually. Like I always thought that, because he's eventually, have you read On, Julie?
No, this is literally where I've stopped. So
he eventually saves Claire's life, and they have this like love-hate relationship where they hate each other, but the whole time he's truly just in love with her, and then he saves her life and gives up his own life for hers. And so like knowing that later, I was just like, I wish he'd just like thrown a little woo to,
Right.
Maybe a last dying breath hand job and a little paint play.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's
she should have
Claire's way of saying goodbye to somebody. She's great at funerals. So
me being as base as I am, I'm like, have they cast that person yet? Is he good looking?
See, I'm thinking he's like old and ugly.
Yeah, he's totally described as ugly, but in my dreams, I'm just like, he has a little shine to him.
You secretly shipping him. You just want to ship him a little, just a little. But I kind of figured we wouldn't get a resolution with him because knowing how certain things played out in this novel, where I'm like, that was from the first book. I don't remember that from the first book or the second book.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, we're not going to hear about this guy we're not going to hear about him until the last book.
Yes. Yeah. No, you can tell she's setting up, future problems. But I like this setup because it's very subtle. The way he reacts to Roger and what he expects when he kind of walks in the room. I do think that he expects to like get what he wants from Jamie. And that's the way it seems to me, in conjunction with what Lindsay says. And then later on with what Jamie tells Claire about him, it feels like it was going to be a potential blackmail situation. But at the same time, it would have been, I guess, hard to prove that Jamie had killed that sergeant. So it's just one of those things. It's just like in the back of your mind, you're thinking this guy's got, obviously it's portentous. He's meant to like prickle the senses. The Freemason nonsense kills me. I don't know jack about Freemasons.
No,
but I don't care.
That's the problem with, and I mean, that's my issue with parts of this. I'm like, I have to stop reading and go and look on Wikipedia or go and look in a history book or go. I just want to read sometimes. And I do wish that part of this novel came with like an index and some definitions at the end where I could be like, what? Just give me a 1-sentence definition. Because I mean, I know it from my Revolutionary War class in college, But spoiler alert, I did not major in social studies. So
Well, if you had, you probably still wouldn't remember, but
probably wouldn't.
yeah, it's just a lot. Like, I mean, it's just, I guess it's a cute little thing. It's not that big of a deal. I guess and really the only kind of way to create another bond with someone where they would also have another bond with Roger. Like, it's the only thing that probably would have carried over. That Roger could also have. So that's fine. But I was also like, how many more things? It's like when you're reading A Discovery of Witches and Matthew, and that is like the head of the Knights Templar or whatever, and you're just like, what? And he's what? And he's been the vampire who did what? And he was friends with Shakespeare and what? And you're just like, whatever. It's that kind of thing. It's just like so many. It's too much sometimes.
Well, to what Julie said, like sometimes I just want to relax and read. I don't necessarily that's sometimes the problem with Diana is she doesn't really trust her audience to just kind of give us the broad strokes but if she researched something and she knows it, damn it, you're gonna know it too.
Exactly. But it's kind of like, and you put the quote or the comment for Perlumis on the screen, which is right. The details are problematic because they are either absolutely pertinent to the plot or not at all, and you never know if you can skip it.
Yeah, like do I get to skip this thing about the birds and the old guy and the cages and how they like went to the southeast? I'm thinking I can skip that. I don't want to read that.
Who knows?
But I did read it because I just told y'all about it. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I'm just like, eh. But then there's great stuff like Roger trying to remember his mother, which I don't think that it.
I love that part.
I love that part. I was like, there he is.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Keira Knightley meeting her end in Atonement.
Love that book.
It was just in such a sad and just heart-wrenching way, that he remembers his mom and that last memory. And it's so...
She let go of my hand.
She let go of my hand. And it's like she was on the stairs, and if she didn't, you would have died.
Right.
And it was like, oh, God. So it was beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm trying to decide what I'm reading and what I'm not, and I ended up reading all of it.
That's a problem.
I even read all of Jenny's letters. Let's talk about Jenny Murray for a minute. She bugs me.
I had to reread that letter a couple times because I was like, are you pissed? Is this passive-aggressive angry?
Yes, it is. It's so passive-aggressive. And I feel like she brought no conclusion on the leg hair part because she was just like, bitch, I'm not going to tell you.
I think she did that on purpose.
She totally did it on purpose. I respect it.
No, I do not. I hate it because, again, I hate even hints of cheating. Okay.
Yeah.
So the entire scenario that Jenny puts in Amy's head, that where he gets upset and jealous over whatever is going on with Leary, drives me insane. It would drive me crazy if I was Claire. I fully sympathize with Claire in this whole section where she like, I know he's over there stewing about Leary and there's like no reason to be upset about it.
Right.
And yet he's mad at himself. And then the nocturnal read thing where he thinks she's Leary and he is having sex with her the way he would have sex with Leary is one of those moments where I would absolutely have thrown the book against the wall if I didn't have to read it. Like, it just hits me in all of like the little parts of my brain where like a million like little alarms are going off. Like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to anybody ever. Like, I am mortified for him and angry with Claire and just, I hate every second of it.
Well, and it's the fact that it affected not just Jamie, it affected Claire as well. Like this whole letter eventually just, it was the mention of Leary is petty to me. It's a little petty. Just, you didn't need to do that. Just flat out.
I thought she had some good hot goss, and I thought she was just like, let me tell you what happened.
I would be happy with the gossip if it had a conclusion and a purpose.
Right.
Like, she should have given them something to say, and so maybe you can quit sending her money because she's with this dude.
Well, yeah.
I busted in and I got the goss and now I know who it is.
Right.
And
I screamed out core. and broke
or
it up.
Leary was being, assaulted or something. It could have been, although she does say, what does she call it? She calls it a hawk McGandy.
Yeah.
Okay. And he says that that's
Yeah.
fornication. But then she says that she figures out that it's Leary shedding her shanks.
Yeah.
Shedding her shanks. That is a euphemism I'm going to get behind. I'm putting that in repertoire.
My moral compass must be all off because I never once. First of all, we're reading a book in which someone's cheating on someone from jump. So,
yeah.
Yeah. It's not like it's just me. It's just how I'm wired. Like my husband has never had another girlfriend. This is one of the reasons I love him. I don't have to ever think about it ever. And it just is like, it's a very happy, soothing place for me. So anytime it's in fiction, I'm like, no, he can't have someone else on his mind. It drives me crazy. Hi, Kara. She's late to join. That's okay. So is Julie. But yeah, I just shedding her shanks. I couldn't tell if that was a euphemism for somebody who was enjoying it or someone who was not enjoying it. So I was like, I wanted more info. Like Jamie and like Claire, I wanted more info.
So if anybody in the comments know what shedding shanks, we'd like to know, what does that mean? Is it knocking boots?
And Sheila just said, with all the horrible things Jamie has to have nightmares about, I don't think crappy leg hair sex would be happening. I mean, maybe he's come to terms with, I don't know, some of his trauma and the Leary stuff. He's just never.
I do like that he's bugged that she likes sex with somebody who isn't him.
Yeah, that's what I think ticks him off.
Yes, I really appreciate that.
I think that's very realistic.
Yes.
It's very mortifying.
Right.
To think that there's somebody out there who thinks you're a bad kisser or you're bad at sex or whatever. And the fact that they're out there living their lives with somebody else in which they're going to be happy with. And you're like, well, what was wrong with me?
Right. Well, also the fact that she chased him to the point of almost getting Claire killed. And then when she gets the shanks herself, she's just like. Eh.
Well, can we also talk about this is the moment, this interaction, that letter led to him almost like having dream sex with Claire, and Claire getting ticked. And then Claire, after so many years, tells him, oh, hey, by the way, remember when I was going to be killed as a witch? Guess who did that?
And it's causing a big problem on the show, right? This is one of Diana's big issues with the show is that they did this early and Jamie would never have married Leary. And he says it in this book, I would never have married her had I known. And they did the opposite in the show. And this is one of the big sticking points in the way that the adaptation has moved things around and has made a mess of things.
Right. I think that Diana uses dreams and nightmares way too much in a way that's not realistic. I agree. I don't think people really dream like that.
I don't dream about having sex with a deer. What was it? Deer or?
I don't know.
It was horses. It was something with a horse where she was a horse, Claire was a horse, and it was early on in the book.
That doesn't happen.
I've never sleep fucked, where I'm dreaming about it and all of a sudden I find myself on top of somebody being like,
no,
I'm just acting out my dream.
Faith just said, according to the slang dictionary, got shanked means pulling down pants. But what does shedding her shanks mean?
It's probably just some bullshit made up.
Because
Diana thought it sounded like hokey and homey and very Scottish.
Well, I'm going to use it from now on. Another one of my Diana-isms that I'm going to use, in fact, I'm just going to say it all the time, is she's talking about how pale Lizzie is. And she says, she's so pale, she's got not a corpuscle to spare.
Oh!
I just can hear my grandmother saying that. I can hear my mama being like, girl, you ain't got a corpuscle to spare.
Poor Lizzie.
And I have a daughter with a blood disorder, so the next time she's super pale, I'm going to be like, you ain't got a corpuscle to spare.
I'm allowed.
I just thought it was funny. But yeah, I'm happy that Jenny forgives him. I feel good about that particular thing, and just wish she had gone an extra mile. She did not.
Right.
So let's move on to the second half of whatever this is. They decide to go to fulfill their Stephen Bonnet plan. And they go to, is it Wilmington? I want to say Williamsburg, but that's not correct.
No, it's Wilmington.
Where they filmed Dawson's Creek.
Oh. There's a lot going on in this section that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
Although I do like the idea that they are like traveling as a little party of 6 with the kids and like taking a vacation and staying in a hotel together. Like the scene of like Jamie playing cards with Leary and while the kids are like doing other stuff, and it just like felt very, family vacation kind of moment to me, and I really liked all of that. But
I do love going to see the rotting whale.
Yeah. Like, here we go. We're going to go see a rotten corpse of a whale.
It
reminds me of that story that was from like 1970, and that whale washed up on the beach in Oregon somewhere, and then they had all the TV crews out there, and to get rid of it, they decided to blow it up. And then there were giant chunks of sperm whale flying around everywhere.
Just blubber all over roofs and stuff like that.
I still like the fact that just even like rowing out to sea, she's just like, Jamie just goes, oh God, and then just like threw up, and like Roger had to take over the rowing by himself. And that was a good time for everybody.
I like that they're out there like it's like America's biggest ball of twine or something. They're like, we got to go see the spectacle. Like they just get an RV to go
and just like any good family trip, at least one person gets car sick or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's check mark on everything when it comes to a family vacation.
I still didn't really understand the particulars of the meeting place with Wiley or Lion or whoever they're meeting, and how it's got to be at this dock at this particular time, and why Bonnet is coming alone to this thing. None of that really made a whole lot of sense. I feel like you needed to go back to like the wedding to understand,
to remember
who is where and where they're coming from and what they know.
Exactly.
It was too much.
That for me did not play well in my mind.
No,
it was too much.
You almost need like a schematic and a PowerPoint presentation of like who's going to be where and why.
Yeah, like that all needed to be contained in one section of the novel instead of being drawn out for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the Russians with the pigs makes no sense. Why were they there? What boat did the pigs come in? What is happening? None of that made sense. The fact that the Russian woman directly went to Roger's like balls and started messing with him.
That was weird. She was like, fuck now? Like,
she's not a prostitute. She's there with her parents.
Yeah, das Vidanya. Like, hey.
It's her way of saying hello. Like it's her handshake, but it's a ball shake. You go in and you just.
That was weird.
It was very weird. None of that made any sense to me. It could have just been a much more simple, Stephen Bonnet's going to be here, go meet him. But all of the convoluted stuff just was beyond me.
I felt like ultimately what I remember from that scene is Jamie doesn't know Russian. Of all the languages, Jamie doesn't know Russian.
What a useless polyglot he is.
But there's a little bit of like redemption for Philip Wiley, which is what I like, because I feel like he's a guy who can fuck, and I'm here for that. I don't like him.
I love it.
God. So yeah.
When they're like, Wiley's landing, I'm like, whoop, whoop, let's go. Let's go find the dandy. And then he's there, but he's not dandied up. He's just like a normal dude who just wants to hunt wild boars.
It's like his equivalent of like cargo shorts and Crocs.
Yes.
Is
he the person now who's responsible for introducing wild boars and invasive species into the Appalachian Mountains? Probably.
That's him. I'm
sure that Diana very distinctly found out exactly where wild boar became.
Yeah. Even though like we're Buffalo that far east at that time.
That feels odd. Especially because they are a plains animal.
Right. And that's what I always remembered from elementary school, where you would sing, songs with where the buffalo roam, and it never said this area. So
But it also feels like very much, hey, look at what we cool white people saw. Like, I'm sure
Right.
if there had been buffalo hanging around, the indigenous folk would have known about it.
Right. I felt like this whole, these two sections were all about the family versus some type of animal and winning all the time.
Yeah. So much winning.
Versus snake versus turkey versus buffalo versus boar.
Exactly. I do like that he didn't shoot the turkey. He's like, no, I just strangled it to death.
But he hit it first with a stone in its wing.
Amy just said she's pretty sure that the buffalo were only west of the Mississippi. I think that's right. We have bison here in Memphis, and we're east of Mississippi, but I don't think that they could have made it on their own across the Mississippi River.
No. But like I said, this was like, it was like the Frasers versus, and you name it. It was like a national, like every single animal that you could think of for that time period made it somehow towards the Frasers. And
like the passenger pigeon.
Right.
The extinct passenger pigeon. So let's get to Stephen Bonnet, who comes across on purpose, all of them on what I'm calling Myrtle Beach. They are picking myrtles on the beach, North Carolina.
For delicious smelling candle wax.
There we go.
Which makes so much sense. Like, Claire's making so many concoctions. How has she not figured out by now that you can mix other waxes with beeswax and get good smelling Yankee candles out of it? Come on, Claire. Where you been?
I feel like Julie would have like a history book on candles because
I do. No. Please, I burn them. I don't care about where they came from, except certain ones. But honestly, for Claire, who comes up with everything, the woman created, or not created, but at least made penicillin. She never thought once, you mix this with beeswax and it's a beautiful smelling candle.
Like, what are you holding?
This is my mic. Hey.
Oh, I thought it was, no joke, I thought it was like a candle and you were going to show us.
I thought you were going to show me a diffuser or something.
That's what I do have lots of candles. This is my dining room, so here's a candle.
Well, give it to Claire. She'll create some beautiful smelling candles. I'm surprised no Outlander. You know how they have like Outlander cookbook?
They Outlander crafts?
Outlander candles. Where somebody makes what would
I feel like there's a good collab that could happen right now between Goop and Outlander fandom. You know, get your essential oils, get your
almond butter,
your almond lube.
Well, we have a couple of
Taint That a Surprise. I just named it for you.
Taint That a Surprise. We do have Claire's cabinet that you can eat to your heart's content.
Oh yeah.
And that confused me because a cabinet here is a milkshake. Are they milkshakes?
It's just it's a pint of ice cream.
Right. Because a cabinet, like if you go to the little drugstore and you buy a cabinet here, you're buying a milkshake.
Really?
Oh, because a cabinet is to me a cabinet.
Yeah. And occasionally a euphemism for a hoo-ha.
Yeah. Like here's Claire's cabinet.
Open up the doors of my cabinet. They're near my shanks.
I just found it very funny. But there's other collaborative stuff going on. I mean, the Outlander cookbook is not collaborative. It's written by someone and she, it's not a collaboration, but there could be more. So why is Bonnet alone, number one? He has all of these co-conspirators gone after Jamie, gone after Roger. And why, when the important thing is that he get Bree and Jemmy, is he alone?
Because no one's really truly loyal to him. Jamie made that point. He is a mercenary and is only surrounded by people who follow him for the coin. So
it was the fact that, what's his name? The Wolf.
Wolf is dead.
Yeah, Wolf is dead.
But Wolf went.
It's like they all split in 3 different directions.
Yeah, I thought Wolf died. He got a thing to the eye.
Ulysses kills Wolf, right?
Yeah, Ulysses kills him, And then there's the other dude.
Oh,
How
yeah.
did Bonnet get the sheriff and whoever else? Is it Lion? To go after Jamie.
This is my problem with this. The fact is we're not clear enough on the specifics of what is probably for me the climax, and I don't mean sexual, but the climax, because they did plenty of that, of the story. Like this should be for all of us, this should be
a little bit
more clear. None of these people even have faces. No. I can't tell you what they even are supposed to look like.
I know what Wiley looks like.
Right.
Oh, girl, I do too.
He's very attractive.
Who got didn't Ulysses slit
Wolf's
throat?
Who got in the eye? Who got stabbed in the eye? There was someone did Roger kill somebody?
Roger kills somebody in the eye. Who is it?
Who did he?
Is it the sheriff?
Yes, I thought it was, or
maybe.
And here's my thing. I'm just now like, there's
I truly can't remember. But I just don't understand why Bonnet is alone when all of that is, when this is the important part. But moving on, like Brianna finally gets him on the back foot, right? He tussles with Claire. Claire, Marsley misshoots or whatever.
Right.
Why in God's name does Brianna, good shot hunting Brianna,
aim for the balls?
Aim for his crotch.
I don't know.
She doesn't just shoot his crotch. She aims down and then shoots, so he has plenty of time to like.
She full on, and he actually covers, and she shoots between the fingers. That's how good. Sorry, I just realized. I'm like, she just
stop. So like, I mean, how in the world? She has a whole torso to hit in a moment where, if she got him in the torso, he's dead. That's just the nature of the era.
Because they need their blackjack. They need another blackjack, I guess.
They need him to slink off and not know whether or not he's dead.
Yeah. The dude gets shot in the balls and still runs away.
I do understand her, desire to get revenge in that area, but I would think the fact that he's almost just killed your mother.
Yeah. There's ways to get back at him. You shoot him in the heart, and then you crush his ball sack.
Yes.
I mean, and the fact that
make your second shot the crotch shot. You know what I mean? Like,
I have seen guys get hit in the balls and cannot move for a good 20 minutes. They're on the ground. I mean, we're talking like accidentally hit, like, oh my God, and they're down on the ground.
That's because they're
babies. We get it. But he got shot and he's like, oh, ow, I'm going to run. And what? No.
So maybe he is superhuman. Like,
he is. He is.
Well, I mean, so we don't know if Stephen Bonnet is dead.
No.
Well, and if you've read the next books, you do.
Oh. But
surely he's not, because that would be very anticlimactic if he were, and that's how he died, by slinking off into the marshes, and they never know for sure.
The family is all talking about it. Claire even says,
his actual death is such a letdown in the next book or the next books that it's just like, I feel like Diana does that a lot. It was kind of like Blackjack's death was not at all satisfactory.
Yeah, it was not at all.
No.
No,
like Dougal's is satisfactory, and you don't even necessarily want Dougal to die.
No.
Oh, and that cracked me up in this section of the book, because they were talking about, can you change the past? And Jamie and Claire were like, well, we were never going to murder Charles. We decided murder was something we wouldn't do. And I was like, unless it was Dougal, and then you're cool with it.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
No, and even Jamie says to her, because they're all talking about it as a family later on, after she shoots him, Jamie even says to her, a man can live without a ball. So it's the hint of that he's still alive. It was for me like, I love that she was like, he'll never be yours. And that's when you shoot him in the heart, because he has no heart.
Yeah, it would have been much better. And then I can't imagine him wreaking much more havoc in further books. And so
Right.
It doesn't seem like he's serving any more purpose. He's already been the scepter of drums, and now this book in the background of this book.
It would have been a fantastic ending to let Brianna be in control of his death. Because it really chaps my ass when Roger's like, no, it's my job to kill him. And I was just like, no, it's actually, if Brianna wasn't dead, it's her job.
Yeah, and she'd be better equipped to do it than he is. And that's why this is it's such a letdown.
Yes.
And then just the fact that it's going to keep going. Like it was already he was the villain of drums. And then you've carried his villainy over into Fiery Cross. Like, why is he going to continue to be a villain in future books? And, you know, there's just got to be more going on than this particular one bad dude. Right. And it's frustrating.
And it's almost like he's making his way through the Fraser Mackenzie family. Like, who else in the family I'm now going after Jocasta.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah.
So is Jenny next? You know, is she going to write a letter about that?
Speaking of Jocasta, we go back to River Run and we find out that Wolf has been there. He tried to kill Duncan, and he's been killed by Ulysses, or maybe by Jocasta, considering she's also left-handed, and that's how he was murdered. And then Jamie and Claire decide they have to do something with his body, and they break open Hector Cameron's mausoleum and find Louise Gold in Jocasta's coffin. Which, what was she going to do with it? Be buried with it?
Right.
That's what I didn't. Did she think it was cursed? Did she think it was?
It seems to me that she was fully ready to be buried with it. Like it was never going to go to any of them.
No.
What is happening?
Unless,
Why?
Unless she was like, unless Brianna looked into this coffin, you know, but
it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it would have to, I guess it would be, yes, once she's dead, they could have it because they would have to use her coffin.
They would have to open it up, put her body in and go, well, that's shiny.
It seems to me like they had to like look below like the lining of her coffin to even see it.
And they found another body.
Well, the doctor is there.
Dr. Rollins.
Because he found the gold.
Right.
So they killed him.
And then,
she's like, Hector killed him. He had a temper.
So what's happening? They leave River Run without that gold. Like they don't take it.
You don't even want to take a couple slivers of it. Like you're having to melt down this candle and find stupid gemstones to pay off leg hair, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool."
Like gemstones that explode. Well,
she's already said that Brianna or Jim or whoever is her heir.
Right.
They see the gold, and it's just over.
Yep.
They go back to Fraser's Ridge with nothing.
Yeah.
And you don't hear about anything that happens with the gold. What is going on? I don't get it.
Does she want us to assume that Jamie would be like, oh, that is just, you know, it's cursed I could gold. Never be around. That gold is.
Right.
Absolutely not. I don't. Yeah. There's no way. Nobody's that altruistic or that traumatized by something.
You see a penny, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck.
That's right. I don't understand. I don't understand what. I mean, I guess I kind of get why the gold is in her coffin. Like that's a good place to hide it. But why was she never ever going to use it for anything? A, and B, why when they found it are they not like, what's up, Jocasta? What are we doing with this? Or why is Duncan not just like, hey, let's go have a party? Like nobody's using it. Nobody knows, and they don't talk about it again. They don't say anything about it. This is crazy. Just drops it off. This is a huge plot hole. So
with the other body buried with the.
So they go back to Fraser's Ridge and have window sex, which is probably one of my favorite ones. I'm here for that one.
Oh yeah.
The idea that he's fully holding her in an open window on a second story, just impaled on him. She can't feel anything around her is very sexy to me.
A window that can be taxed. Look at all those windows that they've given him in the homestead that can be taxed.
That's why
that's when if he had that gold.
That window. Because it's
taxed and sexed. That's what a window is for.
That is right.
Death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
I do love that window sex scene.
Well, I love it too because the whole point is she's having a hot flash. She's still, she still has it. For people who are talking about, J-Lo dancing at 50, okay, whatever. It's not like you're dead. Claire still gets it, damn it. She's having hot flashes, she still gets it. Gives us all hope. Sorry.
That J-Lo, I loved every second of that. And I feel like her on that poll was such a fuck you to Oscar voters. Like, really I don't need you. Look at me. I'm on the Super Bowl on this poll.
Just like Claire having window sex is a fuck you to everybody's like, once you hit a certain age, it's done. No, it's just beginning. There it is. Give me the almond butter oil, whatever it is.
So Ian comes back in important
I love
fashion.
that. It's Ian.
I love Jamie. I love the description of Jamie's face when he sees him and how happy he is. And then everything that happens as he comes back and everybody's hugging him. I just love the sentimentality of all of that.
And I just love that he looked at Claire and goes, I knew you weren't a fairy.
I know.
I was like, oh.
There's a lot of mystery surrounding why Ian is back, though. Why is he back? Why is he back alone? Amy Rose just said, I love the actor they picked for him. I actually really kind of do, too. He wasn't who I thought what Ian looked like when I first read it. I think he does such a good job on the show that now when I'm reading it, I see his face when I see young Ian.
Right. He's very good. You're right. He's totally the opposite of how I envisioned Ian, but he's a great actor and perfect.
Yeah.
He's adorable.
So I'm looking forward to that. And we get more information about Ottertooth, another pullback from Drums of Autumn.
There it is.
If you, Lord, imagine picking the Fiery Cross up and reading it just like in an airport or something. And you're just like, that's the first thing you pick. And you're like, what is happening? Can you imagine? What the poor souls who have come to this, like in book 7, have just been like, what?
This book needs footnotes.
It's like if you listen to a good podcast and it's very serialized, you need, I love it when it's like, stop. Go back. If this is your first time, don't even try.
Right.
Yeah. You can't do this.
That's what this book needs to have. Stop, go back. And even if you do go back, you're going to need to read it multiple times. Just have the other books by your side.
It needs a concordance, like a Bible, so that every time somebody's name comes up, you just go to the concordance.
Yes.
Which I guess you kind of have that if you have the Outlandish Companion, which
I was just going to say, isn't that what the Outlandish Companion is?
But I've never.
The fact that you said, it's like it needs to be like the Bible. For certain people, this is their Bible.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. So we finished it. I mean, basically, this is the end. Ian comes back. They read Ottertooth's journal. And
they find out that they can all travel.
Yes. Oh, that's the other thing, too.
That Jimmy can travel.
The exploding opal.
The
hot opal.
Right. And then they start talking about tongues. And they're like, can you do this? Like that.
Yeah.
And,
can we all three do it?
Does that mean we're all related?
No, but my daughter can't do it. I don't think either one of them can.
Can you touch I can't.
With my finger? Yes. I just did it.
I can do that. I can't.
Can I do what?
Touch your tongue to your nose.
Oh, no.
See, I can only go that far. Wait.
Can you do the roll?
What?
Oh, your husband's a lucky man.
Can you roll it?
No.
That was really gross looking.
You don't know he's lucky because he's only ever had Beth.
That's true.
He knows.
After a night,
he knows.
I would also just like to say that this is a night where somebody, if they wanted to make gifts, it was at one point Amy going like this and Beth doing that thing with her tongue.
Please don't.
We've already got Shakira doing the I'm so Lebanese tongue thing.
So Jamie tells the world that Roger has bigger balls than he does because he was fine with finding out that Jimmy can roll his tongue. So I feel like we've come full circle with that. I feel like maybe Roger comes into his own in the 6th book. And so maybe we won't be as irritated with him. Here's hoping. Jimmy, for some reason, the gems are hot. The gems are hot for Jim.
And they explode.
And that doesn't make any sense to me. But at least they know that Jem can travel. But they find that out and then decide to stay. So
opals have a lot of water in them, and if they get dried out or dehydrated, they will actually shatter on their own. I know that because I have a gem lady.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's my birthstone.
Oh, okay. Very lovely. Awesome. So this is the end of the book.
Yay!
My favorite quote, one of my favorite Jamie quotes is at the end of this novel. If my last words are not "I love you," you'll know it's because I didn't have time.
Oh,
love that one.
So good.
So good. And how do we feel about finishing the Fiery Cross in 5 weeks?
I just feel like I've accomplished so much.
I can't wait to go read other shit.
Yeah.
This is my big question, and if I were doing Twitter, which I'm not tonight, I apologize, but I don't think there's a whole lot of people on there anyway. I would ask the question: do you want to pick up A Breath of Snow and Ashes right now? Like, is that something you want to do?
What are you asking here? Are we going to continue with our read along?
I don't mean us as a group. I mean personally, having just finished the Fiery Cross, and this is for everybody watching. Do you feel the need or the desire to pick up A Breath of Snow and Ashes right now? Like, that be the next thing that you read? Do you need to keep reading?
I definitely did when I read it the first time.
Purely Amused says no.
Yeah, I need a break.
Amy says not yet.
But is it between your first time and a reread? That's the difference. My first time going through, I read everything boom, boom, boom. And then I had to wait for Moby. And that was the only time I ever had to wait for a book and didn't just read them like one right after the other.
Right.
Well, I can say from, obviously, when I read these, Breath of Snow and Ashes was out. And I think Echo was about to come out. Maybe it was already out, but not out in trade paperback or something like that. And I didn't, obviously, this one took me so long, I didn't keep going.
Right. I read the first 4, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Started this and then I stopped. Yeah. And I think it's one of those things where I need a break.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something about the way this one ends, even though everything is not tied up. You don't know anything about Ian. Stephen Bonnet's not dead. Obviously, they didn't get the gold, and there's just like a lot of things, but it still feels fully done. I felt that way at the end of Voyager too, where that's my point. Your story's kind of tied up right now.
If she had stopped writing Outlander, the series, after Voyager, I would have been satisfied. Like,
everyone would have, because that was really the truly end of the story.
Right. So
Amy wants to know what we haven't all done our Diana-isms. Did you do your Diana-ism? Did we do our Diana-ism?
I kind of did, not a corpuscle to spare. I didn't have a really gross one that I wish she hadn't said this time. Y'all can do that. I didn't have one of those.
Well, there's, again, tons of, if there's the smell of an onion, she doesn't fail to mention it. And I cook with shallots a ton, which is kind of oniony, and I don't think about onions as much as she does. My Diana-ism is my Diana complaint for this whole book, which is that in this section she used alacrity 3 times.
Wow. I didn't even notice it this time.
Oh.
I have been noticing it, but I didn't notice it this time. I must not have been reading as closely. There was the moment where Jamie, it's right before the window sex, where he's smelling everything on Claire's hands. And I was like, he can smell that she had butter on her forearm. You got to be kidding me. Like, I cook a lot, like you're just saying with shallots, I cook a ton of garlic. Like, I chop garlic almost every night. And like, I've learned how to get the smell off my hands.
Yeah.
Because that's gross. But,
Dawn, was anything done with alacrity? Well, she says they did it with alacrity, but nothing ever seems to be done with alacrity.
Right.
What is alacrity?
Quickly, fast.
Oh.
Okay.
You know what? I marked it and I don't even remember where I put it, but it's for medical terms, and she thinks you understand. Like, she explains medical terms with medical terms, and you're like,
oh yeah, she went through this whole thing where she's writing everything down, and she's like, it's a whole thing about what she's writing everything into and you're just like, I don't care what you write on here, and you can write whatever you want.
And if you need to explain to me something that is it's a medical term, Do not use other medical terms to explain it to me. Remember, human being, speak like I'm a human being.
I did like the guy who had the fistula because he had too many piles.
Oh my God.
And then we got to Mr. Archbug, who was constipated.
Yes.
An anal fistula is
Yeah.
the sickest thing. And then the fact that there was like a diagram, like the guy had drawn it, I could not. I could not. Did it look like the Sarlacc pit from Empire Strikes Back?
Well, now it does.
That's definitely what it looked like.
Faces, I'm a medical coder and doctors are not that detailed. No. What's the code for anal fistula piles?
Good God.
But I did love that little story about Mr. and Mrs. Bug. And she was like, well, how did you start to shit? Well, she agreed to marry me. Oh, that was sweet.
It is cute. Aww. It's a lot of butthole talk in this one.
There's a lot of butthole talk.
Didn't Roger skewer the boar through his butthole too? And it like goes up in the air? Like he has like a fence post and he skewers the boar through his butthole?
He's fixing the fence.
I think it's through his butthole. And then there's the diagram of the guy with the fistula and the piles. And then there's Bug. And then there's her finger in Jamie's beehole. That's a lot of sphincter going on in just one section of a novel.
But that's also why I love Jamie, because he was just like, it feels good, sure.
Yeah. He ain't got a problem with it.
That ain't gay.
No.
Nuh-uh.
God gave me a prostate for a reason.
That's right. My favorite is when he's like, I've always dreamt of like wrapping them around, but I don't know. And that's when, the whole oil and everything. And then it looks different from this angle.
Ooh. And she's like trying not to like she says something about like trying not to get like hit in the face or something. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you doing? Goodness gracious.
He gave us the code for a rectal fistula. Thank you, Faith.
Oh my gosh. Oh God. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. So I want to give a little bit of hot gauze. I had some folks ask for some things I tweeted out at one point this week. So number one, Sophie's boyfriend does exist. He's on Instagram.
And it's not Sam.
It's not Sam. If you can't find him, that's your problem. He's out there. He's very attractive. But it was cute because when I found him, I was like, is this really her boyfriend? Or is this just like a producer or something that she knows? And so I'm like looking through, and then there's this picture of him holding hands with a person in New York City, and he's put an emoji over their face. So it was like before they were public.
Right.
And then they go public a few months later. And I thought, this is cute. Figured it out.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend.
Well, if you deep dive into his Instagram from like almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, he put an emoji over her face.
That's what I just said.
Oh, did they? Sorry. I just took out my...
It's the story I just told. Get out of here.
It's like being married. What do you think I just fucking told you?
I just took because I thought somebody was in my house, so I took my earbud out.
Shut up and go away. Okay. Faith just said that we forgot to say what's the one scene you want to see this season. One scene
I told mine already. Philip Wiley and his Crocs.
Okay. Go ahead, Julie.
The actor who's playing him is hot.
Is he?
So.
I'd like to see the hand job bringing Jamie back to life. I would, but not just show. I just want to. I like the intimacy. I know you don't.
I hate their sex scenes.
Oh, you need to stop with that. You just gotta.
I don't like it.
Let Sam's face.
Do you hate them because Claire is always coming within 2 seconds of the penetration?
No, she doesn't bother me. It's just I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's just I much prefer my imagination of Jamie and Claire's intimacy than the reality of it in my face on the screen. I find it very uncomfortable. I'm more into it than I am anybody else's intimacy on the show. I would prefer that to all other sex scenes, but it's still uncomfortable for me.
So how are they going to handle there will be no Duncan then on the show, right?
Right.
So it'll be Myrta.
Is she going to marry Myrta, I guess, is the question. And is that going to change
because they do show, I think, like a wedding pergola kind of view in the preview, which made me feel like that was the wedding at River Run.
Yeah, I'm curious to see whether or not they use the gathering simply as the gathering, and Brianna and Roger get married at River Run.
Maybe.
If I were writing it and I had made Myrta stay alive and I couldn't make Myrta take Duncan Innes's place as Jocasta's husband for obvious reasons, because I was going to have him be the head of the regulators, and I still wanted to have the wedding at River Run, which I would prefer than having the wedding at the gathering, which is totally boring and ugly, then I would do Brianna and Roger getting married at River Run.
Right.
And Lulu just said life-saving hand job. We should ask Faith what the medical code is for that.
That like whole go towards the tunnel, see the light, like, and then just decide to come back because you're getting a hand job. What's that code? Lulu just asked, did anyone download Sophie's song?
What?
Huh?
We don't know what you're talking about. That's how not into that we are. So no, the answer is no. I kind of saw that there was a song, and then
Did she make a song like the Real Housewives make songs, like a dance tune or something?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Aw.
I'm not going to download it.
She's finding us the medical code. I feel like this is why we need Medicare for all. We don't need medical coding. We just need everything covered. I don't want to know what your rectal fissure is.
Purely Amused just said, I'm making sense, Beth, so of course they won't do that. Right? I'm assuming you're talking about the wedding. I know, right? That's how it works out. I
totally forgot about Myrta being, the disgruntled don't tax on my windows. I've totally blanked on all of that.
If Myrta has a don't tread on me flag, I'm just going to burn everything to the ground.
So I found the song.
That's okay. We don't need to hear it.
No, you don't need to. It's not even, it says martini shot. Sorry.
What? Is it like don't be tardy for the party?
We want to announce that the charity song is called Martini Shot, which is named after the last shot of the day on a film TV set.
Martini Shot. It's for charity?
Maybe. Yeah,
good.
I think so.
That's great.
Good for her.
That's excellent.
Yay,
That's one more Hot Guys conversation. Richard Rankin did something weird with the Sasnak City people. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows. Okay? Nobody knows what happened. The only thing we do know for sure is that somebody's publicist got real hot real fast and said, fix it, Jesus. And he had to fix it. That's all we know.
It is like people, so was this like an Outlander event? Not like sponsored by Outlander, but like a fan gathering. And then they get Starz to come. And he was one of them?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was he the biggest one that was going to come?
I think so.
Oh.
And people pay money?
Yes, a lot of money. But also he gets paid a lot of money. And it said that he said that Sasnak City was annoyed with things, which either means like his rider was too much, or maybe he wanted too much money, or maybe he couldn't be there at specific times because it could be anything. It could be that he wanted his grandmother to come and they said no. I mean, it could be anything. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know. But it was very interesting and fun. Lulu just said she recorded a song while she was in New York. She was struggling with mental health things and wrote about it.
Oh, but it's called what? Martini? Okay.
Martini Shot.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that she could write songs or sing or anything. So I will listen to it and give it an honest, open-minded listen.
Okay.
But so let's get back to Rim Rakin, as we're calling him now, because someone accidentally called him Rim Rakin, and I was like, no take backs. That's his name from now on. I just don't get it.
I think he just got like hot under the collar a little bit
Yeah.
about something and thought.
But then
that
he
it was,
went
like,
on to
gonna be a
Twitter
fine.
and complained.
Yeah, I think he thought it would be like kind of a fine thing to say, and it was
Right.
really kind of shitty instead, and so he had to take it back.
Because people have probably spent money and you can't get your money back, and they were expecting him to be there, and now there's no one Outlandery to go see.
Exactly. And you know Outlander fans will travel very, very far and spend lots of money to go see you. So
Also, there's just there are certain, you can be a public figure or a celebrity, and you can rail on something that you think deserves to be railed on. You could even like go to town on American Airlines brand or something if they screw you over or whatever.
Right.
Like that's punching up.
Yes.
But the star of, or one of the stars of a major show telling a convention that they don't, you know, for whatever reason, like you're crap and, you know, whatever he was saying, is punching down.
Right.
Because those are for fans, and sometimes they're by fans.
Yeah.
And he made fun of the way that it sounded because it's Sass Snack City, and he's like, sounds sarcastic. And it's just like, he made fun of the way it sounded. He said that, you know, they were annoyed with things, and that's why there were unforeseen circumstances. And like their announcement that he wasn't going to be there, it didn't say anything. It wasn't accusatory. It didn't say anything about him not being able to be there because of what he wanted or something. It was just like, due to unforeseen circumstances, we're sorry that Rick can't be here. And that's it. That's all you got to say. Like the fact that it's just a punch down situation, and those are never cool.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
did he cancel last minute?
I don't think it's last minute. I don't think it's because I don't think it's last minute. I think it's just something didn't work out. But and whatever the reason is not the important thing. I mean, it could be whatever. It could be their fault. It could be his fault. I don't know. It's probably a combination of both, right? Like it's a scheduling issue, probably.
Right.
But
this is why I only go to big events like the U.S. Open, because I'm pretty sure I'll see at least one star while I'm there.
Yeah. Dawn just said she went to one where Sam and Katrina were scheduled, and then they weren't there on that day. And then the big surprise was
they were videoed in.
Videoed in, yeah. That isn't the same thing. You're 100% right.
Right.
That's not a big surprise. That's a door prize.
I have the worst luck about stuff like that. So if you ever hear that I'm coming to the show you're going to go to, don't go, because that means that will happen.
Well, speaking of, Amy and I will be. Speaking of, Amy and I will be at 92Y in New York on the 11th. Is that when that is? Next Tuesday-ish. So if you're going to be there, come say hi to us. Maybe we'll drink afterwards. If you are a Hangoutlander person and you're going to be at 92Y on the 11th, you can come and hang out with us.
Yes. Not just the place where the Outlander premiere is going to be, but also one of the hardest preschools in all of New York City to get your child into, the 92nd Street Y. Oh,
Really?
Yes, girlfriend.
Oh.
If you have not done a deep dive on how cutthroat preschool and private school applications are in New York City, do yourself a favor.
No, I'm too afraid. I
have heard a bit about it. I feel like there was a documentary about it at some point.
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
And
I know in LA.
Shit out of me.
Yeah.
I know.
And I realized I can't afford to send my kid to private school anyway, so public school it is.
Yeah. Or if you're like me, you put him in private school and you're like, why did I pay for this? This was public school. And now one of them has the place.
Public school. God does his best work in a public school.
You're right.
Believe it.
Right.
So anyway, we will see you guys there. For those of you that are going to be there. For those of you that aren't going to be there, we will be bringing you the good coverage of the premiere of season 5. We'll see it just a few days early, but I'm sure Starz will put it online like 2 days before the premiere.
It's probably out right now.
Yeah, you can probably see it in about 48 hours.
Are we going to see? Are there going to be stars at the Starz premiere?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Panel time.
Brim Rankin will be there.
Brim Rankin.
All right, guys. This is it. This is it for book club Hangoutlander, The Fiery Cross. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Lulu wants to know our favorite Outlander book.
The first one.
And followed by Voyager.
Yep.
First 200 pages of Voyager.
I would actually say when I reread them that Dragonfly went up in my estimation quite a lot. I didn't like it as much the first time, mostly because it introduced Roger, and I was like, who is this asshole? Why is it 20 years in the future? What the fuck is going on? But the fact that you know what's going to happen and that book makes it's really good because of that. So the first 3 books are my favorite. Outlander's my favorite out of those.
Yes. Outlander was the book I reread multiple times.
Yeah. It's super good.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Thank you, Lulu. But we've got to go. We've way overshot our time tonight. We love you guys. We were going to next week have a Roger Mack showdown, but I never found a Roger Mack lover, somebody who loves him on the show. So I don't have a good debate. If I can't have a good debate, I'm not having the show. Plus, we probably need a week off. So we will see you. The next Hangoutlander will be in 2 weeks, the 17th, directly after the premiere, once everybody has seen it. So please tell your friends, I don't know, subscribe on YouTube, say hi, thumbs it up, share it on Facebook, do something. And so that we can have as many folks as possible in the chat with us on the 17th, all about the premiere. We can't wait to see you guys then. Good night.
Good night.
If I don't tell you that I love you, it's because I didn't have time.
Oh,
I love y'all. Good night.